Hello, Facebook Live, and welcome to day 37 of 365 days of Facebook Live. I'm pretty sure it's 37. I didn't check my calendar. I was like, I think it's 30, and I didn't even scroll through my own feed. I was just like, I think I'm ready to go live. So here I am. And welcome if you are here for the first time and catch me for the first time. My name is Jessica Lozano, and I am a women's relationship and feminine embodiment mentor, and I help women have extraordinary relationships with extraordinary men by ushering women, guiding women, mentoring women to become extraordinary women, great women that are in this beautiful sacred union energy within themselves and really embodying the depths of their feminine essence, radiance, creatrix, all the different archetypes within us, our fire too, our passion, our waters, our stillness, all of that resides within us. And part of becoming a great woman and having a great man next to you is equally what's the word I'm looking for here? Not important. Or parallel in their journeys to their relationship to the masculine, to how healed they are with the masculine, to how they view the masculine men and all men, not just their partners, but fathers, sons, brothers, co-workers, think like men as a whole. Because it's one level to do this healing for love, and then it's another level to apply these principles and teachings to your father and to your brothers, to your sons, to, maybe co-workers, friends, things like that. And today, what I want to talk about is respect. And respect in regards to your relationship and turn on, which of course, these teachings still apply with other people in your life for having just a really beautiful, harmonious relationship versus feeling like you're consistently butting heads. So one of the things that men really, well, first let's touch on the topic of respect. Respect to respecting men. It is a very tender spot in the woman. It is a very tender spot in the woman because of a lot of pain that has happened. Right? There's a lot of wounding with the masculine. And we can even come to this place of healing where we've healed father wounds, we've healed relationship wounds, we've healed a lot of things. I feel like I need to tilt this down a little bit. I don't know why. I feel like I look really funny today, but maybe it's this. I'm not sure. Whatever. I just came back from the beach, so let me get back to where I was. Respecting men. Yes. That it's hard. It's challenging. It really challenges our ego. It really puts us at the next edge, the next level of like, woof. Damn, this is another growth edge for me. This is another area that I need to surrender into. And it's because of the level of trust, deep trust to the masculine is required. and your own relationship with your own inner I want to say your own relationship with God and life is really where this comes from. There's so much that I want to say that I don't know where to start. So I want to make this a very sweet and short conversation instead of making this really drawn out and long. So yeah, there's a lot of mistrust. So when you have mistrust, it's difficult to have respect, right? These two are very much interchangeable. So when we talk about respecting men, respecting the masculine, it can be very edgy for our feminine hearts. It can be edgy for our own egos, and it can be very edgy with what society has put out in the world up to now. And what is really talked downly upon about men. Creates a generation of women who hate men, who believe that men are not good leaders, who castrate men. And we're in this funky phase right now in the evolution of the world where it's like, okay, we kind of switched roles a little bit, or not even switched roles. We strengthened the opposite of our opposite main energy, meaning like the women have strengthened more of their masculine and the men have strengthened more of their feminine, and we got into this place of kind of reversal, and now we're finding our way to integrate back into that sacred union and really returning into our own embodiments, right? Because we kind of swung to each side, and in swinging into that other side, we've lost and been programmed to not respect men and not to trust men. And that creates a conundrum for women who want to have a great love story, who want to have it all in their love life, who want to have great sex, romance, thrill, emotional intimacy, a teammate, a person they can grow old with, to be a good an amazing parents if they choose so. If there's no respect, or even a little, I don't even want to say no respect, but there's either very little respect, or up to, I guess no respect would be the worst case scenario, or very nuanced energies, which now you're going into the masterful levels of this, of respecting the masculine and the ways that we want to hold our man in that beautiful, imperfect man. And like, wow, I deeply respect him. And that respect, let me tell you, is what makes you want to fuck your husband, your partner. When you don't have respect, we criticize, demand, emasculate, castrate, whatever you want to call it. We think less of. And then we wonder why we have a passive partner, why our partners don't give us those feelings down there. How can your man have an erect posture to you if all the energy, nuanced or extreme, is one of less than? So we've confused our own feminine power with overpowering, instead of saying power meets power in this co-creational world of life. Because let me tell you, one of the purposes in this world and why we came here is to create the life that we want. And in creation, you need the masculine and the feminine energies, right? We all individually have that within us. The female body, the woman body has more of the feminine energy in her system, a little bit less of the masculine, and vice versa. So when we come together in creation as in a love affair with the one, you are exalting these energies within you together. You as a woman, the feminine energy, him as the male, the masculine energy, primarily, right? Of course, we know that with the symbol of the yin and the yang, there are going to be instances where it is the other contexts where it's on the other sides, but primarily, this is how it works. So, turn on is a creational energy. Creating a relationship that is filled with romance, that is filled with thrill, that is filled with raw, primal, hot, steamy, like bang the heck out of each other sex, to transcendental meeting God, to soft and squishy lovemaking, to like the normal types of sex that we have. All of this is a creational energy that you're coming with. And one of the ways that the man and the masculine create is through their accomplishments, through their doing, through their exerting themselves into the world. We do things differently because we were born, in our bodies biologically, we have this templated in us already. So we don't have to do in order to know that we can create. We already have that within us, right? This is why when they think about the feminine energy is the one that attracts. It's true. Our beingness and the frequency that we emanate brings things to us. The men is different, which is why the men value, not even just value, they feel loved through respect. It fuels up their tank to continue going and continue to be the great men that they are, is through the energy of respect. You seeing them and respecting them. When we do not have this creational power to them, so it fuels their energy to keep moving, to keep doing, to keep providing for us, to keep leading, to keep giving us protection, to keep having the emotional, that stable, grounded, stoic energy that we so love, right? It fuels them to continue to succeed because that is masculine principle, to conquer, to do, to provide, to lead, to exert their energy into the world. Same with us, right? In our relationship, they give. So when we take this energy and we look at them with respect, it softens our heart. It stops us from over-functioning. It brings us in this space of deep surrender because we trust them, because trust is a big part in this. We believe in everything that they are and what they are capable of. We hold them to this energy of king. Through your respect is how you worship your man. And through your respect is how he gives back to you love and adoration and cherishment, which is what fuels us. We want to feel loved and cherished and adored by our men. That fuels us. That makes us feel loved. That makes us be a relaxed woman, where then our yonis are pulsating with desire and just like, oof, I want this man so bad. But when we don't respect them in different ways, through mothering and through mothering and basically making them incapable of making their own decisions, so you're like all over it, through controlling and leading them, through not trusting their provision and what they are giving us, through not allowing them to feel us, instead we're defending and attacking them, versus really speaking from your heart and your truth and letting them know what's on here. And letting them feel you. Your feelings and your emotions are like data for the masculine. That energy signature that they feel from you, it does something to them. It does something for them. It does something to that masculine testosterone, that it just like, okay. When you do that, when you give men the respect, and I do want to say this, there are men out there that are not great men, that are not good men, and it's a lot different in those situations when you don't feel like you can really trust them, or where you really don't feel like your emotional safety is not there. Then yes, I can understand this not making a whole lot of sense here. This is really for the women who have reached those levels of healing that they're ready to become extraordinary women. And this is part of it. So I do want to make that caveat, because if you are in the wrong relationship, if you're a relationship that you already know innately, I cannot trust this man because, he's not an emotionally safe place from, like emotionally abusive and things like that, then this is we're going to have a completely different conversation. This is not the conversation for you to have right now, which I probably should have started earlier with that, but it just popped into my head right now. So, okay, I lost where I was. Let me see, what time is it? What time it is? 18 minutes. So when we respect a man, we approach our man differently. And it's very healing to our feminine. I really completely lost everything that I was saying, so I'm just going to start here. It's been one of those days. It's been one of those days where I feel like my brain's checked out because it's Memorial Weekend, but I've committed to these lives, so I'm going to be here. I'm going to do it. I even responded to a Telegram note today with a little slow energy, but that's okay. We're here. The challenge was to show up for these 365, so it requires a lot of trust. It requires a free fall. Like a feeling that there's something here that's going to catch you when doing all this. And as you start to change the dynamics in your relationship, when you respect, when you trust, he is going to receive, he's feeling you differently, because you are allowing him to be that more penetrative energy towards you, versus you like puffing your feathers out, having that armor out, and like having that sword and that knife out. You're penetratable, you're feelable. That in turn goes back to him. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. That in turn goes back to him. I'm telling you, my brain is like off today. This is horrible. I had something really good I wanted to share, but that's okay. I'm going with it. You know what? This is part of what it is. Obviously I'm completely different when it comes to my training. So it comes back to him. When he returns that energy to him, he responds to you differently. That's what I was trying to say. He responds to you differently in a way that feels like you have a man because of how you changed your conversation with him, or he just becomes even more of a great man. Do you get what I'm saying? And when you see that in him, that turns you on. Because you're no longer getting in the way, because your ego is no longer trying to create this story that you cannot trust men, you cannot trust the masculine, I cannot trust him, and continually proving to yourself through your actions and your words and all the things that you're doing that he is not a man, but you are creating that. You are creating that. And when you create that, you have also created your lack of desire for him. So it is this energy of undoing, and for different relationships, it will be different on how much of this needs to get untangled. But I can tell you it starts with, where is it that I can genuinely respect my man and stop getting in the way? And by stopping getting in the way, you actually are respecting him. You are respecting the masculine. You are believing in the masculine. You can start admiring the masculine. Because a lot of this disrespect to the man comes from so much generational wounding and trauma. And rightfully so. And we have to start changing the script. We have to start changing what we are creating and how we communicate, and having a different posture with men if you want to have, an extraordinary relationship. You want to be an extraordinary woman and have an extraordinary man next to you and have extraordinary sex. How are you perceiving him? How are you loving him? And are you giving the man how he needs to be loved, which is respect? And part of that is respecting the differences between a man and a woman, because we are completely different beings. So I'm going to leave it at that, because I have so much that I could say on this, but I feel like this conversation went in a whole different way besides really talking about turn on. But what I can tell you is that when I really started to understand and respect Ron for our differences and for the nature of the masculine, into how he leads, into how he provides, into not doing things for him and letting him be his own sovereign being, it really did shift how I related to him and how turned on I felt towards him. Because there was still a lot of healing that needed to get done when it came to the men and to trust and respect. And part of it was on my own fear of being obliterated by his love. Really being like taken over by his love because of the shadow version of the way that I felt obliterated by love was not good. was very traumatic experience for me. So with Ron, even though I had healed so much, by the time that I met him, there was more to go. There was more to go. And that complacency phase that we went through was that phase where, was I really respecting and honoring him as a man? Or was I creating a passive man in my relationship? And when that passiveness came in, doesn't lead to turn on, but I also played a role in that because of the lack of respect that I had and trust and nuanced ways, right? This is very nuanced when you get to the level of sacred union. It's very nuanced. It's very advanced trainings, advanced. So we are going to be talking about this inside of Dripping Pleasure this week, about communication, about all of these areas when it comes to your relationship with your man and being dripping in pleasure. Because I can tell you right now, if you do not respect a man, you're not going to be dripping in pleasure. You won't. You won't trust him to fuck you well. You won't trust him to turn you on. So, prices go up to $155 tomorrow. So today it's still $125, and oh my God, there's so much juiciness in there. I'm excited for you to jump in. The link is there. If you have any questions, message me. I would love to answer them for you. And I will be sharing soon about Sex Priestess, which is the next mastermind that I have coming up. And if you, first of all, if you hear that name, you're like, oh my God, yes. Message me, because Dripping Pleasure is included with Sex Priestess, because it's a perfect way to go into it. And if you didn't do Dripping Pleasure, you're going to have time to be listening to, in Sex Priestess, to be listening to all of the Dripping Pleasure transmissions, to make sure you're really primed. What else? Yeah, so it's really, Sex Priestess is for the woman who wants to have a deeper connection with her sacred, with her feminine body, with pleasure, and to have transcendental experiences with God and her king. So this is going to be a very deep healing journey, alchemizing journey, and expansive journey with your sacred sexuality and your yoni, and how you are with your man. Because there's one layer of having this deep relationship with yourself, and then there's the next layer of bringing that in with him. That is a whole different level of integration, of processing, of surrender, of co-creation with him, right? There's so much you can do with you and God. And then there's the next level of transcendental experiences with him, with your king in the bedroom. So I will guide you, mentor you to get to that place and have those types of experiences, because it is quite magical. All right, loves. So there we are. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. If you're in the United States, happy Memorial Weekend. And I will see you tomorrow.